So, what if I told you that buying a house could actually be one of the worst financial decisions you ever make? I know, it sounds crazy, right? But think about it. For decades, we've all been fed the exact same advice. Buy a property. Get on the property ladder. It's the ultimate milestone of adulthood. But what if that is really only part of the story?
Let me paint a picture for you. Two friends graduate from college. Grad A goes out and buys a house as quickly as humanly possible, locking in that 30-year mortgage and settling down. But almost immediately, they start feeling the weight of it. They're house poor, constantly stressed out by a broken boiler, property tax hikes, and just endless weekend chores. Now, Grad B takes a completely different path. They decide to just keep renting. But here's the catch. They use that massive pile of cash they would have spent on a down payment and all that home maintenance, and they invested in their career growth, they travel the world, and they save aggressively in the stock market. Fast forward 10 years, and the outcome actually surprises everyone. Grad B has a higher net worth and significantly less stress. So you have to ask yourself, who actually made the better financial decision?
Today, in this explainer, we are decoding one of the absolute biggest financial myths in America. We're going to break down the hidden costs of homeownership, the totally surprising power of renting, and exactly how you can figure out which choice is actually right for your unique situation.
Welcome to WID, helping millions understand the money behind America's biggest stories. Because every dollar has a story. And today, we're decoding this one.
Act 1. The American Dream Myth. Let's dive into this. For generations, homeownership has been way more than just a financial transaction, hasn't it? It's literally the cornerstone of the American dream. It's tied so deeply to our identity, our desire for family stability, and this whole romantic idea of finally planting roots. And the social pressure behind this is incredibly intense. We are practically programmed from birth to believe this age-old mantra: buy a home as soon as you can. It gets passed down from parents to children, from financial gurus to first-time earners. And if you don't, well, there's this quiet, pervasive guilt, a feeling that you're somehow falling behind your peers, or just failing at adulthood if you don't have a mortgage to your name. But what if the smartest housing decision isn't the one everyone expects? What if, for some people, renting actually builds way more financial freedom?
Act 2. The hidden costs.
Okay, so the reality of homeownership is often a lot more complicated and a whole lot more expensive than just getting the keys and paying your monthly mortgage. In fact, one expense surprises first-time homeowners more than almost anything else, and the biggest cost of owning a home isn't actually a mortgage at all. This brilliantly illustrates how a massive chunk of your monthly payment just vanishes into what we call unrecoverable costs. You see, a lot of people think their entire check is going toward building wealth, but thousands of dollars a year literally vanish into property taxes, homeowners insurance, mortgage interest, and HOA fees. These are completely sunk costs. They don't build equity. In a very real sense, you are essentially renting the money from the bank and renting the land from the government.
Let's look at this comparison. As a renter, your costs are highly predictable. You've got your rent and a very affordable renter's insurance policy. That is usually your absolute maximum monthly housing liability. You know exactly what you owe every single month. But as a homeowner, property taxes can and do go up. Insurance premiums jump dramatically depending on where you happen to live. The maintenance is just relentless, and repairs, oh man, they carry incredible emotional stress and a massive opportunity cost. Think about it. The $10,000 you suddenly have to scrape together to fix a leaky roof, that's money stolen directly from a child's college fund, or money you can no longer invest for your retirement or use to take your family on a much-needed vacation.
We like to say that owning a home can be incredibly rewarding, right up until your water heater decides it has retirement plans. Seriously, when things break in a house you own, there is no superintendent to call. It is all on you. It's really no wonder that so many homeowners eventually discover that YouTube has become their second contractor, just trying to keep up with the endless, exhausting fixes.
Act 3. The hidden power of renting. So let's flip the script for a moment. For years, people have shamed renters by saying they're just throwing money away. But we really need to reframe this completely. Renting isn't necessarily throwing money away. For many people, it's actually buying freedom, time, and supreme financial flexibility. Just look at the profound psychological difference between these two lifestyles. Renters call the landlord when the HVAC goes out in the middle of a brutal heat wave. It gets fixed, and life just goes on. Homeowners call the plumber, and then they have to call their savings account, praying they have the $5,000 sitting there to cover the emergency. The sheer peace of mind that comes from knowing you are shielded from unexpected catastrophic maintenance bills, that has a very real, tangible value to your overall quality of life.
Because when used correctly, renting offers some absolutely incredible advantages that can build into a super powerful wealth strategy. You get the flexibility to easily relocate for a promotion or a better job across the country without ever worrying about having to sell a house. You have dramatically lower maintenance responsibilities. But the real secret here is investment flexibility. Listen to this. If you take that massive cash pile you would have locked up in a down payment, plus the hundreds of dollars a month you're saving on property taxes and repairs, and you aggressively invest that difference into something like an S&P 500 index fund, over decades, compounding interest completely takes over. You can build staggering, generational wealth without ever having to mow a lawn or replace a rotting fence.
Act 4. The Housing Wealth Reality. Now, to be absolutely clear here, we are not making an anti-home ownership argument. Not at all. There are very good reasons why real estate is a cornerstone of American wealth, and there are absolutely situations where buying is highly advantageous and hands down the smartest financial move you can make for your family. The magic of homeownership really comes down to two things: housing equity and leverage. Equity is simply the portion of the property you truly own, which you slowly build up over time through your monthly principal payments and market appreciation. But leverage, that's where it gets super powerful. Because you borrowed money to buy a large asset, your returns are magnified. For example, if you put 10% down on a $300,000 house, and that house goes up 10% in value, well, you didn't just make 10% on your money, you literally doubled your initial $30,000 investment. Boom. However, we do have to gently dispel the myth that real estate appreciation is universally guaranteed. It's not. Housing markets are incredibly local, and prices can and totally do fluctuate.
Act 5. Making your housing decision.
So the crucial point is, how do you actually make this choice for yourself? Because as we've seen, there is no universal winner between renting and buying. The right choice completely depends on your circumstances, your finances, and your personal goals. So we need to apply this highly practical framework to your own life. Treat each of these steps as a serious question you absolutely must answer. First, honestly compare total monthly costs, not just rent versus mortgage, but factoring in all those hidden unrecoverable costs we discussed earlier. Second, evaluate your emergency savings. Houses are hungry for cash, and you absolutely need a robust buffer. Third, consider your expected time in one location. Are you staying put? And fourth, really think about your career flexibility. Do you need to be able to move for your industry in the next few years?
You see, your time horizon changes the math completely. If you're looking at a one-year timeline, you need flexibility to navigate uncertainty, which makes renting the clear winner. Now, at 5 years, you might be building some local stability, and the math gets highly competitive. But it's really at the 10-plus year mark where the long-term equity potential of buying typically starts to outpace renting. It usually takes at least a decade to overcome the massive sunk costs of upfront closing fees and those early, heavily interest-weighted mortgage payments. Ultimately, your own economic resilience and your careful planning matter far more than just the choice itself. So, this perfectly distills everything we've covered today. There is simply no one-size-fits-all answer. This is just as much a lifestyle decision as it is a financial one. Both renting and buying have profound advantages, and both carry steep trade-offs. You have complete permission to choose the path that actually fits your life. The smartest decision you can make isn't blindly following traditional advice. It's the decision that meticulously aligns with your specific goals, your current finances, and your unique timeline.
Remember, every dollar has a story, and now you know this one. See you in the next Decode.
Now, I'd love to hear from you. After watching this explainer, what's the one thing you're most likely to do next? Will you start saving, keep renting, recalculate, or change how you think? Share your specific next steps in the comments. I read as many as I can, and your perspective could literally help someone else make a better decision.
WID, Wealth in Depth. Every dollar has a story.